Hello crafty friends, thank you so much for joining me again. I made this video a while ago, but didn't have a chance to do the voiceover, so I'm doing now. So this is another 10 cards, is in Spellbinder card kit of the month for February 2023. I had so much left over that I need to use it. So this is the first one, and I use some leftover pattern and paper, and I cut it in strips. They're not even strips, different size. I got a large one and a small one, and even a smaller one. I think the small one is about half inch, and then this one even smaller. And I'm just gonna attach them to one of the cardstock panel that come in the kit, and I try to keep a even distance between them, and I'm not attaching them straight. And then between the lines I decide to attach some gold cardstock gold strips. Sorry, my alarm is going off, 1 second. There you go. Now I just try to put it in the middle between the strips. I think it was a mistake using the tape runner, because some of the adhesive went on top of the strip. So I will cut it again, another strip, and do it again, but you won't see that because I cut it off. Anyway, I'm gonna have another one, and this time I'm gonna glue it with glue, liquid glue. I'm just gonna give tiny little line of glue and wipe off the excess first, and then again center it between two strips of pattern and paper. I think it looks a bit more elegant with the gold. Now on this panel I'm gonna cut off a tag right in the middle. So I'm gonna make two cards with the one with the negative and one with the positive of this panel. I secure it with some low tack washi tape. I don't know if you notice, I use it everywhere, the washi tape. That's gonna finish soon. I've got plenty, but that one is very low tack. It works really good. Now with my tape runner, I'm gonna put some adhesive around the negative space of the tag that I just cut off, and I'm gonna put a piece of acetate, because guess what? This is gonna be a shaker. I do love my shakers. And now I'm just gonna go around with some foam tape. It's not super thick, so it's they're not gonna move around too much, but still they're gonna move around a little bit, and that's enough for me. Now I should have put a bit more of those lovely sequins that come in the kit, but I had a bit of pink and yellow of something that I had on my stash already, that is not just glitter, it's like a chunky glitter. And then I'm gonna close it with the white scrap cardstock I had in my stash, and then I'm just gonna center in my card. I'm gonna attach it using some glossy accent as a glue. There you go. And now I'm gonna use the two of the die cuts that come in the kit, as is it's gonna be a birthday card, so maybe a cake and some flowers. Now I'll use one of the stickers, the happy birthday stickers, and I'm gonna mat it to some pattern and paper, just to give a tiny border of the same colors to match the card, the strips on the card. And then again I'm gonna mat it in white cardstock. Just gonna go to a corner and then just hand cut the rest. There you go. Now they match. Simple card in the end. And now I'm just gonna pop up the die cut with some foam square. I've got some tiny foam square as well. And I'm just gonna adhere to my card, and I'm gonna do the same things with the sentiment. And that's it. The first card is done. Now for the second card, I'm just gonna use the tag that I just cut off, and I'm gonna attach some twine. Create a little bow with some twine, black twine. It's quite thick, not particularly soft, this one, so it wasn't super easy. And I definitely should have glued it to the card before actually make the bow, but never mind. I never do that, I never remember. So there you go. I'm just gonna cut off the excess, and again I'm gonna attach together with some foam tape, I think. Now I'm choosing a couple of lemons die cuts that come in the kit, and the sentiment enjoy every day that I mat in white cardstock, just to match the two die cuts that come in with the borders already. And I'm gonna attach them together first, so it will be easier to pop them up together with some foam squares, sorry. And there you go. Start with the tag. I'm gonna try to center it. There you go. And then the little lemons. On the sentiment, I double up the foam on one side because then it's gonna overlap on the tag that is already dimensioned. And now, as a final touch, I'm just gonna glue a couple of the sequins on the card. I'm gonna put 3 on the top, and directly on the tag, and 2 on the card base. There you go. The very pretty colors. And card number 2 is done. Now, card number 3. Sorry, the light is sun come and go as usual. So with this one, I'm gonna start do a bit of stenciling. This stencil I created myself with the Cricut. So I don't know if you are familiar with the Cricut. You can do a lot of different things, die cutting stuff. And I created my own stencils. I love it. So this one is a simple square, and I'm gonna use I think it's Mermaid Lagoon. This teal color that is very, very pretty. Oh no, I think it's actually peacock feather, sorry. Oxide Distress ink. And I'm just gonna apply lightly just in the center. I put some tape on it just to keep it steady on the things. That's it. It's gonna look like kitchen tiles, maybe, hopefully. Then I'm gonna attach the sentiment right down there, and I choose 3 of the die cuts to put in the middle, like in a kitchen table. A couple of butterflies. There is some other stuff that I wanted to use, but I decided not to. It would be a bit too busy. And now I'm just gonna glue the 2 watercolor. What's that water can on the side? I'm gonna attach them flat on direct on the panel, and the center one, the vase, I'm just gonna pop it up with some foam. And while the sentiment, again, I'm just gonna attach it flat. I think it says "Happy Day, my friend." Sentiment come in the kit, of course, and it was a sticker that I matte in white cardstock. Very simple, not much work, apart the stenciling, but that is just fun. There you go. And now the 2 little butterfly. I'm just gonna glue in the center, so the wing will be free, and just to give a bit more dimension. And with a very thin tip black pen, I'm just gonna create the antennas of the butterfly. Sorry about my head. And now with my wing castella, the final touch, I'm gonna give a bit of shimmer here and there to a couple of flowers and the wings of the butterfly. And card number 3 is done. Another very simple one. It's got some gold foil accent to this die cut, so that's nice. Match with the sentiment that is foil as well. Now card number 4. I'm gonna use this dies that I've got in my stash. I got it from Amazon, very cheap one. Create like different size windows, and I just made a little windows. And again, I'm gonna use another of my stencils that I created with my Cricut. This one is like a brick wall, a classic that you need to have in your stash. I'm joking, you don't, but I love it. I use it sometimes with the paste, it's amazing. But this time I'm just gonna go very lightly with some distress ink again. And actually, no, I forgot. I used my Memento London fog. That is not distress ink. Just to give, I live in London, so why not? Just to give a touch of grey brick wall. That's it, very lightly. And now I'm just gonna use some of the dies from the kit, die cuts. So there is a little yellow door I'm gonna attach there, and I cut with the dies matching pattern paper, colored pattern paper that come in the kit. I'm gonna create a little scene. Now just decide where to put it. The door definitely is gonna go there, so I'm gonna attach it with some foam squares just to give it a bit of dimension. There you go. And now there is a couple of little vase that look good there, and there is this lamp, but I realize it doesn't fit with my design, so I decided not to use it in the end. Shame, because it's quite cute, very London-like. So again, I'm gonna attach the two vases together, and I'm gonna put a big foam square on the back and attach them together by the door, like sometime you have in the house. And with the windows, I'm gonna create a little scene with using one of the die cuts and one chipboard. The chipboard is a bunch of tulips that I'm gonna glue at the base, like if they are inside the house. I try on the outside, but it didn't look that great, so I decided to go for the inside. And then I'm gonna attach this cute little bunny, like he's looking out of the windows, a bit sad because he's missing someone. Yeah. I cut off his legs, poor things, just to fit inside. And then I'm gonna give like a little pink background. I use some pink distress ink in a piece of cardstock scrap that I had in my scrap box. I've got a huge scrap box, like I presume every crafter have, with a lot of leftover cardstock paper. I should organize one of these days, but you know, never have time. And now I'm just gonna glue together everything. Using some glue and foam tape at the top. And take it off the release paper. Give me some issues. I should have cut off this part, but never mind. And now I'm just gonna glue my back in. There we go, look quite sad, poor thing. And glue on the back, directly on my card base. There we go, our little city scene. Now, because obviously it's missing someone, I decide to, with the sentiment missing you so much. And again, I'm gonna use some a foam square at the back. And glue it, attach it to my card base. Should I go with the wall a bit higher, but never mind. I'm just gonna center it there. There you go. And the card is done. I'm not gonna add any more embellishment unless I decide to do some glossy accent, yes, on the flowers. So that is gonna give a bit of shiny and a bit more dimensions. So just gonna go all over the flowers, the tulips on the windows and the flowers on the vase. And when it's dry, it's gonna look nice. And that's it. And the card number 4, done. Card number 5. I'm gonna use again my another stencil, another one that I created myself with the Cricut. So I'm just gonna go around with some pink Picket Raspberry Distress ink. I'm gonna make some pink fluffy clouds. They are quite cute. Your pink clouds, they're really, really cute. I'm just gonna turn my stencil around to give different shape clouds, more natural look. And I'm gonna mute the white as well. And that's it. Background is done very easily. Take a few seconds. Now, I cut from the pattern paper, I cut a tag that I'm gonna, of course, pop up with foam squares. And I'm just gonna attach it on the center of my card. There you go. It's a cute pattern and paper with little fans in it's a very nice background. I'm gonna use the adorable little bunny in the cup and some of the heart die cut shapes, and then I'm gonna use one of the stickers that I matte in white cardstock, and then on this one say, you can't really see because it's a blue against blue, so tone on tone. I think it says your smile brighten my day. And then I'm just gonna put some tiny foam square on the side and just glue on the center because it's gonna overlap the tag that is already dimension. There you go. It's gonna be like a bridge. I attach with the bunny with foam tape as well, by the way. I decided to go just with the pink and blue heart. Sorry about the focus. Another very, very simple card. A bit of shimmer with Wink of Stella. And the cup as well. The mug in this case. Oh, it's a cup. It's a cup. Don't really see from the video, unfortunately, but it gave a bit of shine and shimmer. That is quite nice. And the card is done. Now, card number 6. Moving on. So I'm gonna use another pattern and paper, a pink with the lines. I don't know, but it's cute. It's a nice color, and I'm gonna temporarily position it in the card because I'm gonna do some die cutting together. So I want them to be positioned in the same place. Now that was kind of a mistake because the tape is low tack, but when you're passing through the die cut machine, it presses so much that it could have issues, and I'll show you in a second what happened. So I create my circle, and then when I took it off, I tried very gently, and one side went okay, and the other side, oops, there you go, I broke it. So what I had to do was to trim it down. That was sad because it wasn't exactly what I wanted to do, but never mind. Now, at this point, I decided to do a shaker, of course, and it's gonna be a flat shaker because of the card base is been cut off already. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna create a pocket, one side with acetate and the other side with vellum. I think I saw doing this kind of flat shaker pocket in one of the videos of Tina Smith. That is Carden Coffee. I'm sure you know her. She's fantastic. I will maybe link a video. I don't know if she saw this one from Jennifer Maguire. I'm not sure. So at this point I decide which size I want the vellum, the front or the back. So I'm just testing it, and I decide to go with the vellum on the back, inside of the card basically. So now I'm gonna glue my little pocket directly on my panel. Add some more double-sided tape. I should have put foam. I said I decided to go flat, but if I had to redo it, I will use foam, because even if it's quite flat, it's not perfectly flat. So you can see some kind of little dome on the when you attach the things that I didn't like it. You see on the bottom part, but never mind, next time. Now in the center I'm gonna use two of the little die cut cups that I'm gonna attach them together. There we go. And then foam tape, foam square, sorry. There we go. And tiny bit for the base. And just gonna pop it up on the center of my shaker. Look at those shiny sequins, so nice. There you go. You can't see the adhesive on the back because of the vellum. That's quite nice. Now I'm gonna use two of the puffy heart. They're adorable. There you go, in the cups. And then I'm gonna use some of the chipboard that I'm gonna attach to some cardstock white circle that I cut. And I think one is said Friends Forever, something like that, and the other one I don't remember, but it's number 1 and number 2. Oh yeah, my number 1, the first one says. So it could be friendship, love, more friendship probably, you know, go for a coffee with friends. And then the second, forever together. There we go. And now I'm gonna use again the puffy stickers. One said special and the other one friendship, so it could be anything. And the card is done. Even if it's a shaker, it was a simple one. Let's move on to card number 7. I use this very old border, what do you call it? Like punch, border punch. Like, I'm not joking, at least 12 years old. And I'm just gonna attach some border die cut with the white cardstock in a panel that is made with pattern and paper. It's very adorable pattern and paper with bunnies in the mugs. And just gonna trim off the excess. There we go. That's it. And then I'm just gonna center. Sorry about the lighting, it's terrible, but it went dark in the end. I had to switch on my overhead light, and you can see the shadows. That's not great. Now I decided to give a tiny bit of color at the back of the of the borders, so you can pop up more from the cardstock. There you go. And now I use some foam tape. Sorry, foam square. I need to get some foam tape. I keep on saying. I definitely need to get it. Now I'm gonna glue my panel down, and I use a circle that a white circle that I mat on top of a silver circle, just to give a tiny little silver border. And then I'm gonna apply a little bit of color using my blending brush from before, so it's got Picket Raspberry still on it. And then I'm gonna glue together these two cute bunnies, one in a cup, one in a mug. They're so adorable. And of course, foam tape to pop them up. Foam squares, sorry, again. That shadow is terrible. I dug out the corner because it was visible from behind, so. And now I center in my circle. And I think I'm gonna glue the circle directly, yeah. I'm gonna glue the circle directly on my panel in the center. A bit higher than the center, but there you go. And now the sentiment, that is another stickers matted in cardstock, say my happy place is with you. So again, love could be mother and son, mother and daughter, or lovers. I think that would be me and my children, so maybe mother and son in this case. Now, I decide to add another few cute little hearts. I went for green, so to match the sentiment. And that's it, and card number 7 is done. Now, card number 8, yeah, the sun is back. This one, it was the day after, sorry. You know, prepare dinner and stuff, time went too late, so I had to do next day. Now I'm gonna do some embossing with the beautiful embossing folder of the month for February 2023 for Spellbinder, and I absolutely love this folder. It's beautiful, it's amazing. So I'm just gonna emboss one of the cardstock that come in the kit, the teal color one. And look at the result. It's gorgeous. I love it. I can emboss all day with this. Now I die cut it slightly, I trim it slightly smaller than the card base, just to give it a wide borders. And I'm just gonna attach it directly to the card base. Now the card base are they're same size, but they're not the one that come in the kit because I used them in a previous video. So I just create my 10 card base out of white cardstock, very thick one. I think it's 300 or 400 GSM, so extremely thick. And now I use one of the sentiment die cuts, and I'm gonna pop it up with foam squares, and it said there are so many beautiful things to be happy. I think it was beautiful. And I'm gonna use some of the flowers left over die cuts. I'm gonna attach them around the sentiment, just directly glue directly on the panel. Super simple. Very, very quick to make, but I think it's my favorite, this one. Probably because of the embossing. Look at that. It gives you all the dimension, all the details that you want. There you go. There was a very lack of leaves in this in this set. Literally 4 of them, and I used 2 in the previous 10 cards, and now I'm using the last 2 here. Lots of flowers, but very few leaves. So, hey, spellbinders, maybe next time add more leaves. I do like leaves. Now I'm gonna finish it touch with a couple of enamel dots. I'm gonna put in the center of my flowers, because they got gold, but I don't think it match with the rest of the card, so I decided to cover up with some enamel dot that with matching colors. And I like it a lot more. Pink, and then white one, cream one on the yellow, and I go for the small one for the centers of my flowers there. I think they're adorable. I do like the result. As I said, this is definitely my favorite card. What do you think? What's your favorite? Please let me know. That's it. The card is done. Super simple. Now, let's go to card number 9. Get in there. I'm gonna use the other embossing folder of the month. This one is not 3D, but it's still quite nice. And I just gonna emboss a panel of white thick cardstock. I mixed a bit of water before doing it because I don't want it to crack, so it helps with the cracking. And look at that, it's quite nice. And then I'm gonna attach a large strip of pink pattern and paper, gingham, and I just realized I didn't attach particularly straight. I think I'll sort it later though. I'm just gonna put in I cut 3 circles out of white stock, and I'm just gonna glue on top of it. I'm gonna glue 3 of the chipboard, circle chipboard that come in the kit. So it just gives a tiny little white borders. And I think they said happy, adore, and what was the other one? Bestie, yeah, so another friendship, maybe, friendship card, love, could be anything. I think the green should be in the middle, no? Not sure. No. Pink in the middle, never mind. And there you go. Yeah, that's better. Now again, I didn't center it. I didn't have my my ruler, T ruler at this time, so I'm doing a pretty messy job. I think I sort it later by chopping here and there. But hey, doesn't have to be perfect, does it? It should. That's it. I glued them together now. Checking on the card. Couldn't see it. Luckily the panel was slightly larger, so I could manage to straighten up a bit by that cutting correctly later. And I'm gonna use 2 of the cute little strawberry that come in the kit and pop them up with foam. Of course I didn't have any more foam square from the kit because I use it all in the first 10 cards, but I've got plenty on my stash, so happy to use it. There you go. Another very simple card. I think I decided to go for one of the banners as well. I'm not sure. Did I do it in the end? Yeah, I think I did. Yeah, that's it. Very pinky. So once I trim off excess, I try to straighten up a little bit. And I'm just gonna attach it directly on my card base. And that's it. Oh, sorry, bit of shimmer on my strawberries. Why not? I could have used some glossy accent, but if the surface is too large, it tends to bend or crack, so I decided to just go with a bit of shimmer. And the card is done. Now, last card, card number 10. Sorry about the focus, didn't realize that the camera went out of focus completely. Sorry. So I try to be quick on this one. I'm just gonna attach a few. I die cut with the die that I've got in my stash. Hexagon from yellow and gold, and the pattern paper that come in the kit. And then I die cut with the same paper a tag. And now using the amazing press and seal after design the position, just to keep them in place. And then I'm just gonna go with glossy accent and glue directly on the card base. I put some scrap paper under because I didn't want to put glue on my work surface, of course. And that's it. Press nicely, and then you can wait until the glue is dry to remove the. Yeah, I should have, because that happened, but never mind. That's it. Once it's dry, I just cut off the excess hanging out from the card, and then I don't know why I decided to glue flat my tag. And I remember to do this a bit late, but never mind, I done it. So if I had to redo it, I probably would have put some foam, but in this case I just glue it flat directly on top of my hexagons. Made a little bow with some yellow twine, very yellow, very honey, very sweet card, I think. Cutting the excess. Now I'm gonna use the cute little bees stickers that come in the kit. I don't remember if I matted in cardstock, probably not, because I've been lazy. So I just put some tape, foam square on the back of the stickers. And I use one of this flower in a cone stickers. I thought it was sweet. I'm really sorry about the focus. It looks awful, but I like the card, so I decided to leave it. Now I use one of the heart stickers as well. It's got some gold foil accent, and I matte it in white just to match the rest of the stickers. And I'm gonna touch it on my film. Next sentiment said our sweet story. Matted in white. It's gold foil as well, so it's all very matchy. And this time I decided to put some foam on one side and glue on the other. I don't know why, because it's flattened. It's not attached with foam, but it still have a bit of dimension, so now touching together the rest of my elements. Cute little bees. I'm in the side where to put them. I left it up there. Let's circle the flowers and a little heart. I glue it directly on the tag. Now, to give it a bit more dimension to the flat die cut stickers, I decided to attach on top some of the flower chipboard that come in the kit. And a bit of shimmer on my bees. And the last but not least, I'm gonna add a couple of dots of enamel black on top of my flowers, and then some directly on the card base as well. And that's it. The card is done. Now, here are all my 10 cards. The shaker with the very little element inside. I should have put more shaker, but never mind, more sequence. The tag by itself, the little friendship flowery ones with the first stencil. The second stencil Miss You card. A lot of yellows and greens. My little tag with the cup. Sorry about the lighting, too bright. It looks like you don't see much the colors, I'm afraid. Hopefully there is some picture I can put at the end so you can have a look. And the second shaker that I really like. The My Happy Place With You with the bunnies in the mug, very sweet. Yeah, a lot of pink, green, yellows. And my favorite one, sorry, I really like this one. And number 8, number 9, the strawberry ones. And the last, number 10, very gold. You can actually see it now. And that's it. I hope you enjoy my card. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe and give us that thumbs up. Thank you. Bye.